Welcome back, everyone. Hi, Lace. How are you?
I'm good. I'm exhausted.
You're exhausted. Why are you exhausted?
It was the first day of double days.
Double days.
So we do double days for like 2 weeks straight, and then for another 2 weeks we just have kind of regular practice, like um how we are in school, like the type of schedule we are in school. So today showed up at the field at 8:30, and I didn't leave until 3.
Awesome. And you didn't have any school, or did you
No
have
school
school for the
yet.
20?
School starts on the 24th.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. And then
Yeah.
how did you get back from our home to your apartment? How did you get back? Can you explain to everyone how you got back?
So we got back from Utah, and just I was angsty, I think, to get my truck back because I wanted to leave the next day. So, well, I've been driving this truck since the junior year, since I got my license.
Right.
So, I'm just begging my parents, can we go please pick up my truck?
Right.
It's in the shop. It's been in the shop. Like, we need to go pick it up. I need to pack the car up, and then I need to go.
Well, you got to put shop in air quotes. If
Yeah.
you're only
Shop
listening,
there's
I'm putting air quotes.
Yeah. The shop is in air quotes, but I didn't know that. And turns out they sold it. They
We did.
they just sold it and I didn't know.
Huh?
And and then I my dad told me to get ready to go to get my car from the shop with my mom, and my
Right.
mom just comes walking in, and apparently the shop closes in about 10 minutes. So I'm like, "Can we
We
please
gotta
go get
go.
my truck?" And usually if we have somewhere to be, my mom is gonna be like the first person to be hustling in and saying, "Let's go, get out." But she kind of just walked in nonchalantly, and I was like, "She knows I have to go get my truck. Why is she acting like this?"
Right.
Um, and
So
then
long story
yeah,
short, you have a new car.
yes,
You have a new car. It
yeah.
was the same car that we took up to the mountains, and you had no idea.
No, I didn't. I had no idea. I was just sitting in the back,
Hey,
minding my own.
minding your
But
business.
yeah,
All right. Well, awesome.
and it
I'm
has
glad.
the little things that people take for granted, like Bluetooth or a trunk or a back seat.
Right.
And I think those are all great qualities now.
Yep. All good stuff. All right. We are. This is where. And for everyone, we just got done with 12U first years. We did fairly well. We made it to PGF, which is an honor to do because you have to qualify, and we qualified to get in. We did fairly well. I think we went 2-2. We won 2 games, lost 2 games, which is good for a first year 12s, right? We were playing these girls that are older and second year 12s. Now we're moving on to second year 12s, and I don't know if everyone knows what flow softball is. Flow softball at the time was a, I don't know, news organization. What would you say,
Article
Lace?
like a softball blog
Softball blog,
with a lot of
news.
important articles and
Right.
all that stuff.
Yeah. So flow softball at the time was pretty big, and what they came out with, and I think it was just for 12U, right? It wasn't for 10. So 12U rankings. They started ranking girls individually, and then they started ranking teams, right?
Uh-huh.
And so we were all kind of like on, well, not all. I think the parents mostly. I don't think the girls really cared. Maybe individually you guys cared
I
what you
think
guys were going to be ranked nationally, but
I think when it was like brought up at practice, like, oh, the rankings are out. Like I think it was made a point that it meant something,
yeah,
and if we weren't number one, then we'd have to keep working hard, just be ranked number 1.
Right.
And then, yeah.
And we had a feeling we were going to be in the top. We didn't know where. We had a feeling we were going to be top 5 at least, because we keep track of everybody,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so these rankings are coming out soon, right? So we start this, first year 12s. We have everybody back, including, I don't know if you remember, a girl that would fly in. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I
She
do.
would fly in from Colorado every weekend. So get this straight, everybody, everyone who's listening. This is the Batbuster organization. It could be Athletics Mercado. I know there's girls that have traveled from other states to play for Mercado for the Angels. Well, this is 12U, and she's traveling. She's flying in every weekend to practice and play in our games, right? So she was an additional pitcher. We had 2 other pitchers that were good. So this added a 4th pitcher to our team. She's also a pretty good hitter, but she's flying in.
And I think it's even more common now. Like,
Yeah,
more than half the team is commuting or
right,
flying
right.
from different states to be on one team.
Well, and you know why? And we can get into it more during recruiting, but um, there's certain schools nationwide, Power 5 typically, they have their travel ball teams that they typically recruit girls from, because they trust that organization. They know how well it's ran. They know that these girls are top notch, right? So, maybe they believed that, Batbuster organization, they're like, okay, well, we're going to join the Batbuster organization because these Power 5 teams are going to be looking at her in the future. We're not at 12U. They're not going to look.
No.
They typically are not going to start recruiting at 12U, but rankings start coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember your individual rankings. Do you remember your individual ranking?
Not in 12U, but I
I do, because I'm
remember.
your father, and the reason
Oh,
why I remember all these is
that did not sound rhetorical. So I actually thought you were like confused.
yeah. So, parents get all crazy about this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we thought it was important for recruiting down the line. Hey, my daughter was ranked this. You can put that in your email, right? Flow softball ranked, my daughter Lacie Ham, whatever. I think you were ranked, I want to say 21. You were in the low 20s as far as nationally ranked at 11 years old.
Makes no sense.
Makes no
But
sense, right? So then team ones come out. And this was important to us because it was more team based. Like individually, great, but team wise, we wanted to be looked upon as being the number 1 team in the nation because of who we are, who's coming back, how well we did in PGF. Because some of the other teams that were ranked didn't go to PGF; they stayed with ASA, right? So we're just like, okay, we should get ranked pretty high because we went 2-2, we qualified. So they come out and we're ranked. Drum roll.
drum roll, third.
Third in the nation, which I think we were happy with, right? So
No, we were
no,
not happy.
you thought you should be number 1.
Why no? Chris wasn't happy.
Chris was not happy, right? He thought we should be number 1. We had no idea who this. Well,
Like
actually, we played
when
Mojo,
I
right?
yes, because Mojo was ahead of us.
Yeah,
Like
Mojo was
2.
1.
Oh, they were
Oh,
1.
2.
Yeah.
I think Mojo was 1. And again, this is the same team that we lost to in the national championships at 10U. So it makes sense that we're 1-3. So go ahead.
Yeah. But I remember seeing it be like, oh, like top 3. And then
Yeah.
I went to practice like the next day, and he's like, "This is unacceptable. Like that's unacceptable." I was like, "Oh,
Right.
reality check." But like now, okay, we're talking about rankings. How important are rankings today? Or like even what impact did those rankings have like now? What you know what I'm saying? Like especially in the game of softball, anyone can beat anyone. So like
Yeah.
it's oh yeah, like of course Batbusters lost to Mojo. Like they're ranked third and Mojo's ranked first. It's like no, it's like softball's a crazy game of I don't know. It's up in the air all the time. Like people beat unranked teams all the time in various sports. And like
Yeah.
there's a lot of upsets going on right now in like college basketball
Yeah.
and even college football, like all these sports.
Well, at some point, it became important for um, the media
Yeah.
to get more viewers. So when you put out rankings, more people are gonna tune in,
Yeah.
right? Does that make sense? So when you do it, like for example, basketball, they do it weekly. So your favorite team, beat another high-ranking team. So you're gonna click on that article to see where your team is ranked out now, right? So that was part of it. Part of the reason this media is this that Flow Softball is like, hey, we need to get more eyes on our website, so let's create this ranking system.
But I mean we're talking about ranking 11-year-olds.
Right.
And I don't know about anyone else, but this is like we're talking about middle school time where self-esteem can be a roller coaster ride.
Right.
You are still trying to figure out who you are as a person, your self-confidence, who your friends are, your morals, and you see yourself ranked compared to all these other girls. And I mean, you wonder, like the top 5 players, what am I doing different than those girls in the top 5? And then some girls like work themselves to death trying to get ranked a certain number, and it starts to become like your whole life, or like um you base your self-worth on what you're ranked.
You're ranked, yeah. Well,
And
and the rankings, just to be honest with you, the rankings, the guy who wrote the articles or who is doing the rankings, he has no clue who you are. So where is he getting his information from? He's getting the information from their club coach
the
or a parent
coaches
or a
or your
parent that's emailing.
stats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have no idea what you're doing behind the scenes, or how much work you're putting in, how much practice you're putting in. It could vary from player to player, and then you see these girls ranked higher than you and you're like, "Dude, I practice every single day for like 3 hours every single day and I'm
Right.
ranked 50?" But mind you, you're 11 years old.
You're 11 years old. Right. And
So,
yeah. So rankings come out, right? So we're ranked third. Um, how do you think other local teams felt about us being 3?
they hated it.
They hated it.
They
They hated
hated
us
it.
already, and then they
Well,
see it as number
who was
3.
number 2? Do you remember?
I don't, to be honest with you.
Me either.
Maybe a Texas team. Maybe I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
um, yeah. So it's comical now, right? Like we look back, we're
Yeah.
like, wow. But for us, it was important because we needed, because of how we presented ourselves to everybody else.
Mhm.
We had this kind of cockiness to us that we're gonna destroy you every time we play you.
Which
We're
is
gonna
good.
Yeah, we're gonna shove it down your throat. Remember
Which is
The
good.
Ronda Rousey? Like he brought in Ronda because Ronda Rousey was huge at the time, right? So it was, we had that Ronda Rousey, I'm going to destroy you every single time you come into the octagon type
Oh
of.
my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
We had to watch a documentary on it,
yeah.
on Ronda Rousey, the UFC fighter, and she had these braids.
Well, he
And
also wanted you to look at her like face, like her intensity.
yeah, it was crazy. I was like,
Yeah, so he wanted you to bring that intensity And then again, he brought that us against everyone else, right? Take it
Yeah.
personal. These people hate you. They don't like you because you're 3 in the nation. You got to live up to this number 3 in the nation type of thing. So it fueled us, but in the end, it's like, doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I mean, it creates some sort of it's a type of motivation. I
Yeah,
mean, no matter where you're ranked, there should be some sort of motivation. Like there's always some sort of motivation there. Like if you're number 1, you have to keep that number 1 spot. If you're
yeah,
ranked 10, you're like, "Ugh, like we don't deserve to be down here. We're going to beat those higher teams."
yeah,
So, I mean, there's pros and cons.
yeah. Well, and this is how intense it got too, right? Do you remember? I did a TikTok the other day. What dad are you? Are you the are you
Oh
the
yeah,
are you
the
the
different
behind
types of
the
parents.
are you behind the backstop dad? With
Yeah.
cargo shorts. I was both, right? I was a coach and I was a backstop dad, right? I remember I
Did you
being
see
said,
my comment? I said that you were all of them.
yeah, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate you sticking up for me. um, but I was also in charge of the GoPro that would film every single game, and it wasn't just Chris wanted those videos so he can not only see how we played, but he would scout other teams, right? I don't know if you knew that or not, but the reason, and I would send him that video after every weekend. I would send him the video of our games, and he would, we played, let's say we played against one of our rival teams, SoCal A's or a Corona Angels team. He would watch that video and scout, and this is, again, you're 11 years old.
Well, it bases like the importance of film. Like I still watch film to this day. It's like mandatory for all college players to watch film on other teams because every game is filmed. Every game.
Oh, yeah.
And
I mean, you could talk about your Boise State freshman year, right?
you can go on YouTube and find games that are just like so old, and I don't know, like it's crazy. Every game's filmed. And
No, but then Boise State, they knew when you were going to throw a changeup. Just
oh yeah, they picked my changeup because they watched film
their
on me,
last film, yeah.
and I didn't know what I was doing wrong, and it made me freak out. Okay.
They're like, why are they hitting my changeup so far?
Well, no, I would be in the middle of my pitch and I would hear the other coach say
Oh,
something that would trigger the hitter to be like, "Oh, she's throwing a changeup."
oh, really?
So I
So
would
he,
go in and tell my pitching coach, like, "I'm really mad."
so a
So
little
yeah,
Houston Astros where they're banging on a trash can to indicate what pitch is coming.
yeah, I don't.
You don't know.
Houston, Houston Astros is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we're doing, so this is intense stuff, right? So now, again, our focus is on the national championship, right? 10U. There was no rankings then, but our focus was national championship. Now we have it. A lot of those girls from the 10U national championship are still on this team, right? We've kept like a core group of girls that have gone through second year 10s, first year 12s. Now we're all back. We all get along. All the parents get along. We're hanging out, and now it's national championship time again. So the pressure's back on, right?
yeah. Pressure's on, and now you start to kind of have your own opinions that are different from your teammates. So like back to what I was saying, you're like still trying to figure yourself out. You're starting to figure out your morals, and I mean, as an athlete, you figure out what type of leader you are. You can be a very outspoken leader. You use your words. You can base it off your performance. Like you go on the field and you just do it, and that's your performance is your leadership. But there's all these different kinds. I mean, people can show it in different ways, but sometimes they butt heads. And so this team, we were assigned captains. And let me just tell you, it didn't work out very well. And
Well, it was a learning experience for you, right? So I
Yeah,
wouldn't say it didn't work out. It worked out in a sense that because you guys you did come back together. Like we
yeah,
sat down and we talked about it. We worked through our issues. Like, what's going on with you? What's going on with you? So it actually worked out. It just
yeah,
at the time when it was assigned, it did not work out.
yeah. And I mean, I don't remember what this specific argument was about, but there
Right,
was just this the whole thing that happened with my team, and like people started picking sides and started texting behind each other's back, like, why'd she say that? Blah, blah, blah. Just like girl drama,
right.
like the real girl drama of like middle school girls. But it's once you start figuring out your leadership style and you start to understand your teammates and um how they lead and what their um perspective of leading a team is, and you kind of have to find the similarities, so you use those similarities to implement with your team. So,
Compromise, right?
yeah,
Right,
compromise.
because you might have an idea of how to lead.
Mhm.
The other person might have an idea of how to lead. They're convicted. They're convicted conviction on how they want things run or how they think things should go. Your conviction on, and then there's a conflict, right? The
Yeah.
good news is that we worked it out. We sat down together. Um, it didn't last very long. I think it maybe lasted
No.
a week or 2 weeks, maybe with the texting back and forth because we did have. I think we may have had a team meeting about it as far as
I think so.
stop
I think
stop
so.
talking behind each other's back.
Yeah.
Um, but the crazy thing is, and you were asked, and it's not nothing against Chris, right? It was just he felt you guys he wanted to create some sort of captainship, right?
I
So
think he
I
he
don't,
he saw a maturity in us that he didn't see in other
right,
girls. So I mean, he thought that was a good route to
right,
lead a team to a national championship.
yeah. But again, you're 11 years old. Do you really have the capability of being a leader at this point? You don't have really. You had experience because you both have played together for a while, so
Yeah.
maybe that's what his thought process was is that you guys have been playing together for a while. That it's only natural that you guys are gonna lead this team to the national championship.
Yeah, I mean at that age, I think everyone has their idea in their head of what a leader looks like, but then you try and act on it and you have no idea what you're doing. But it only comes with time and with being on a team for so long. Like once you get to high school and become an upperclassman, that's when you kind of take the reins a little bit.
Right.
Um, but it all depends on what your leadership style is. I mean, some people are really quiet and really do not talk like very well, but they show it in their work ethic and
Yeah.
how much effort they put on the field. So it can be shown in different ways. So kind of just have to trial and error.
Yeah. Well, at that age, right, you just got to figure
Yeah.
out what works, what doesn't work, right? And that
Yeah.
goes. I mean, that goes on with the business world. There's leaders in the business world that you know they're going to screw up. You're going to mess up. That's how you learn, right?
Yeah.
And
But
then
also,
you got followers that you know maybe they don't like your leadership style, and so they
yeah.
revolt, right?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like you still got to be a good teammate though.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Like I could have not liked some like a sort of leadership style, but at the end of the day, you're on the same team and you're going to be playing the same game, and say you're on the field together, what are you not going to field the ground ball just because your pitcher you don't like how she talks to you? Like it's
Right.
yeah, once you get on that field, you're ride or die basically.
Yeah.
And
Inside the lines, it's a different story. You better step it up,
yeah,
right?
like you're a team, you got to work together. And yeah, especially in games, in all games, and like in the whole season, like you got to be a good teammate no matter what. And
Right,
I mean, outside the games, like one-on-one, try and figure your stuff out.
right,
But when it comes to game time, lock in.
right.
Forget about it.
Yeah. And on that note, right, let's go back to the rankings and PGF now. So, um, for second year 12s, we got it. We got the invite. We didn't have to qualify,
Yeah.
right? They just said, Batbusters Garcia, you guys are in, right? So we didn't have to go and travel and do all these tournaments to try and qualify, which was good. But it also you got to stay hungry no matter what, right? You can't just take it for granted. We're gonna get into that in the next episode because it was probably the most fun as a team that we had,
It was
parent
a
wise, kid
long week.
wise. We're gonna get into the USA Elite
Oh yeah.
National World Championships, right? I think they were trying to maybe take the place of PGF. So that was
Yeah.
a fun time.
Yeah.
And then we get into PGF. We're going to talk about that. What so those are two kind of really dynamic stories that it was fun.
Yeah, all I have is, I mean, other than PGF, we'll get to that, is good
Yeah,
memories from those weeks. Yeah.
yeah. So really good memories. And then yeah, it's good stuff. Anything else, Lisa, that you have on your mind that you want to talk about?
I mean, well, yesterday I had work and a lot of the girls hadn't pitched in about 3 weeks. So it's coming back from winter break and getting back in the groove of things. Um, and so for the travel girls right now, it's going to be like high school season,
Oh, right.
but that doesn't mean like, ooh, I'm just going to go play high school and not think about travel ball. Nope. Once you're done with high school, you get straight into summer ball, and that's big
No,
time stuff.
that's no joke.
No
Yeah,
joke.
it's no joke. Yes, and Jesse yesterday he went and hit the ball at the range, and he goes, "Well, I haven't played in 3 weeks." Comes back from the range, and he goes, "That was the worst. I need a swing coach." We're like, "No, you just need to get out there more. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily it's not the swing coach. It's
Yeah. I mean,
you need reps."
and it's good to the winter break is like the best time for travel girls to take some time off.
You do need time off. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not saying you guys should be going out there every day throwing the ball in the net, right?
No. But I mean, now's the time to grind. I mean, I have a month until my season starts, and so that's crazy, and it's just going to be go 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 until February 9th. So,
And this is a tough time for you, right? Because you have school too. You still have to go to school,
I
and
have to start
and
school.
you have season, right?
Yes. But you work through it. You got to do what you got to do.
Gotta do what you gotta do. All right, Lace. Well, good stuff. Again, we're going to talk about getting into PGF and the USA World Championship championships next episode. Lace, I love you,
I love you.
and we'll catch everybody else on the other side. Take care, everybody.